In this video, I'll give you 10 ideas for small, specific goals that you can set for yourself to build sustainable momentum in your finances. Most of the time, people respond to a big financial goal or a less than rosy financial picture in one of two ways. Either they're paralyzed by the problem and do nothing, or they dive headfirst into massive lifestyle changes. Neither of those is sustainable. If you do nothing, your financial situation will be stagnant or even deteriorate, but if you try to do everything, you'll burn out. And that's why I recommend starting with small steps instead of big leaps in the right direction. Find someone you can openly talk to about money. For everyone, but especially for women, it is really important that we become comfortable talking about money. Being ashamed, afraid, or ignorant about money only serves to help people who want to take it from us. Your money buddy doesn't have to be rolling in the dough or a personal finance expert. They just have to be someone who is willing to give and receive real talk about money. Talk regularly about your income sources, your salaries, your expenses, and your debts. Now, this is gonna feel kind of heavy in the beginning, maybe a bit uncomfortable, but again, remember, being ashamed, afraid, or ignorant about money only serves the people who want to keep money from us. So find some ways to compensate for that heaviness and discomfort. And I recommend intentionally injecting some positivity into the experience. Share resources with each other, like articles and videos like this one. Celebrate wins together, set goals together. Doing things like that will not only make the experience more comfortable, but will also deepen your relationship with that person. Get clear on your current financial situation. Check your credit report and make sure it's accurate. Make sure that you have access to all of the accounts that you own and that you know what the balances are. Look through your last 90 days of transactions and see if there are any patterns that you might want to change. And then also get into the habit of checking your accounts regularly so that you always have working knowledge of your current financial picture. You can't even chart a course to where you want to go if you don't know where you are now. Budget for your favorite spending habit specifically. Whether you are brand new to budgeting or you already have a budget, it's a really good idea to get very specific about how you budget for your favorite spending habits. For me, I love eating out and I love buying beauty products, and I specifically budget for those categories aside from my entertainment budget. My eating out budget is $80 a week because my husband and I tend to eat out once or twice a week, and my beauty budget is $20 a week, and that money gets set aside in separate accounts specifically for those purposes, and I never overspend on them. That way, I still get to enjoy the thing I love the most, but my spending is never getting out of hand. This one's obvious, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention it. Stop using your credit card if credit card debt or overspending is a concern for you. Some people can use them responsibly and can really gamify the rewards, but you have to have really good financial habits up front before you even attempt any of that stuff. So if you have any issues with credit card debt or overspending, take your credit cards out of your wallet, take them off of your online shopping accounts, look through your transactions and identify any recurring charges and either cancel those subscriptions or transfer those recurring charges to a debit card. Now, if you're one of those people who have gone all in and you somehow memorized your credit card number, or if you really just can't seem to stop yourself from using it, destroy that card or ask your credit card company for a new card that you can use. And once that card arrives, just stash it in a drawer somewhere and don't even activate it. It's a great way to stop using your card if self-control is a real challenge. Speaking of recurring charges, go through all of your transactions on all of your accounts for the last 180 days and find all of the subscriptions and recurring charges. And ask yourself, do you need them? Are you getting value out of them? Are you using them? Are there less expensive alternatives for a similar product or service? And if you can get rid of them, get rid of them. Subscriptions are awesome, and I have some subscriptions myself that I really love. Rent the Runway is a particular favorite. But the truth is, they can really add up, and if they're just coming in a little bit here and there, you might not realize how much of an impact subscriptions are having on your financial picture. So make sure that you're looking for them and getting rid of any that you don't actually need. This one's one of my favorites. How familiar would you say you are with your bank's website? Have you ever just gone poking around to see what's there? If you haven't, you might be missing out on some really great products, services, or features that cost you nothing but could help you manage your finances on a day-to-day basis and reach your financial goals faster. I've been banking with the same bank, USAA, for 15 years, but only 2 years ago did I ever take time to really poke around the website. And I found some awesome features to help me save more money, pay down debt faster, and just manage my day-to-day finances a little bit better. Now, 2 of them that I think will probably be available at many banks, not just mine, is something like a goal tracker. On my bank, it's called Goal Tracker, and I was able to put in a goal, a savings goal, and a debt reduction goal, and I was able to connect those goals to my accounts in my bank, and then set a deadline for when I wanted to hit that savings goal or when I wanted to pay down that debt. And it would help me calculate based on the time period between how much I needed to save or how much I needed to pay down. And it lives right there on my account screen so that I can see if I'm ahead, if I'm on track, or if I'm behind. Another feature that my bank has that your bank might have as well is scheduled transactions. On my bank, there's a section where I can put in all of my recurring bills. And when I go to my checking account, I can scroll up and actually see into the future how my balance will change based on the bills that I have already anticipated coming in. And it is such a great tool to help me figure out how much money I have to play with for my other goals and activities. If I want to spend a little bit extra on something that I like, or if I want to put more money towards debt pay down or savings. So take a look at your bank's website and see if there are any cool tools that don't cost you any extra money that can help you manage your finances, and give them a shot, but make sure to give them some time. It might not stick right away, but if you stick with it for a little while, you might find a tool that was initially not very helpful to be something you can't live without. Even if you already have a savings account with your main bank, it is a great idea to open a new savings account with a completely separate bank and set up automatic transfers from your checking to this new savings account. Even better if you can set up direct deposit from your paycheck directly to this savings account. It is a fantastic way to build up savings without having to put in any mental effort or use any self-control. I really recommend trying to find a high yield savings account. These are much easier to find than they ever were before because the internet has made banking a lot cheaper. Before the internet, banks had to have branches. Branches were expensive to maintain. And so us customers really didn't get very good interest rates. But now these internet-only banks are offering much higher interest rates than we've ever been offered before because they're not maintaining any branches. And so they're passing on some of the savings to us in terms of higher interest rates. The other reason why you want to do this is because distance is resistance. If you have a completely separate savings account and a completely separate bank, you may totally forget about it. But even if you remember, it's going to take you a little bit of time to get access to that money. You know, it's a savings account. It's not going to come with a debit card, and it's separate from your regular bank. So if you're going to transfer from that savings account into your main checking account so that you can spend that money, it's going to take a couple of days. So it makes it harder for you to access that money. Distance is resistance. You're less likely to spend that money the way that you would if it was connected to your bank and you could make instant transfers from one place to the other. Of the entire list, this one is my favorite, Cupboard Week. Cupboard Week is when you commit to only eating the food you already own for an entire week and not spending any money on any sort of food items for that time. So no groceries, no coffee out, pack your lunches, no happy hours. Everything you put in your body should be something that you already own that's already in your pantry, fridge, or freezer. The list of benefits for doing regular cupboard weeks is long, 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 long. But obviously the ones you're probably most interested in are the financial ones. If you're not spending money on groceries and lunch out and coffee out and drinks with your friends, then you can put that money toward your financial goals. And if you're doing cupboard weeks regularly, that money can really add up. You would be surprised how much progress you can make by once a month taking 1 week to eat only out of your cupboard. While we're here, let's quickly touch on a few non-financial reasons why doing regular cupboard weeks is a great idea. First, food waste is a huge problem around the world, especially in the United States. So whether you're in the United States or not, but in particular if you are, it's a great idea to do a cupboard week. It'll help you contribute less to the food waste problem because you're taking time every single month to go into your pantry and make sure to use the things that you have purchased. Another really great benefit of doing cupboard weeks is that it's good for your health. If you're taking ingredients that you already have and putting them together to make a meal, that means that those meals are going to be a bit more whole than they would be if you were eating out, if you were getting fast food, or if you're eating from a restaurant. You have a bit more control over what you're putting into your body when you're cooking your own meals. And then, of course, the last benefit, and my favorite, is that it forces you to refine your skill of cooking. If you ask me, the ability to cook a few simple, delicious meals is one of those skills that everyone should have, no matter who they are, no matter what their background is, no matter what their lifestyle is. Everyone should be able to cook a few simple, delicious meals that they enjoy eating and that they want to share with others. And doing regular cupboard weeks can help you do that. And so I really recommend giving it a shot. If that's the only thing of this whole list that you try doing a cupboard week. If doing an entire week it kind of weirds you out and makes you a little stressed, try doing a cupboard weekend and then work yourself up to a cupboard week. I know that you can do it. Before you start your cupboard week, check your pantry and make sure that you have the basic essentials of cooking. If you're missing things like milk or sugar or eggs, butter, that sort of stuff, go ahead and go to the grocery store and pick those things up. But don't clean out all the shelves because you know you're going to do a cupboard week. That's cheating. Curate your email inbox and your social media feeds so that they're full of encouragement, not temptation. If you find that certain email newsletters or certain social media accounts always seem to be encouraging you to spend money on things that you really shouldn't, then you should unfollow those. You're not really missing out on anything. On the other hand, if there are email newsletters or social media accounts out there that are educational around finances or encourage you to be financially responsible, bring those into your inbox and into your feeds. What we see in our feeds every single day influences our actions, even if it's subconscious. So if you're always seeing people say, buy this, buy this, buy this, you might buy one of those thises. On the other hand, if you're seeing accounts saying financial responsibility, you can reach your goals, you don't need to spend money on that, those are going to be the messages that are in your head as you're walking around your life. And that's definitely a better place to be if you're trying to achieve financial goals. Try a no spend challenge or a low spend challenge. It's exactly what it sounds like. For a period of time, you spend as little money as possible. No cash, no credit, only your regular bills and absolute essentials during that period of time. Now, the duration can be whatever you want it to be. It can be a day, a weekend, a long weekend, a week. It could be a whole month if you're an absolute beast, but the idea is the same. You only spend money on your bills and essentials. Be honest with yourself about what an essential is. Gas for your car to get to work? Essential. Gas for your car to get to your friend's house? Not an essential. These 10 ideas are all small, specific, sustainable things that you can do to improve your finances. They are achievable with the time and resources that you already have, and you can get them done in 90 days or less. So I encourage you to find the ones that you think are most impactful and interesting to you and that you give them a shot. But I'll be honest, there are 2 more things that you absolutely should do. And while they are quite a bit harder than the 10 that I just went over, they are quite a bit more impactful. The number one thing you can do to improve your personal finances, no matter where you are or where you want to be, is to change the way that you think about possessions and money. I don't know of a single society on the face of the planet that has healthy attitudes around money. We wrap so much negative emotion into money and things and having money and having things and not having money and not having things. Envy, anger, fear, shame, greed. No wonder it's such a difficult topic to talk about. And this is compounded by the fact, at least in the United States, that most people don't get a sufficient financial education before their earning years begin, which means they make a ton of preventable financial mistakes. This is a vicious cycle and it's not your fault, but you can break it. So start breaking that cycle by changing your attitude around money. Try to strip out all of those negative emotions about how much you have or don't have, or talking about it with people that you know. Try to think of it like a tool or an instrument, that it's no different from a piano or a hammer. It's a tool that you learn how to use, and the more skill you have, the more you can do with it. And lastly, you really do need a budget, and not just for the fun things like I mentioned earlier in the video. You need to be able to account for all of the money that's coming in and out of your life. Every transaction needs to have a place, but I know that in the beginning that is really, really daunting. And if you just go to Google right now and search budget template, you will come up with thousands and thousands of different people's ideas, many of them having multiple dozens of line items, and not all of them are going to be relevant to you. And I know that that too is intimidating. So I suggest as a first step, just doing a rough budget. Just the broadest calculations for the broadest categories of where money is coming in and out of your life. And then over time, make a habit of paying attention to what the spending and earning patterns are, and then refining those buckets so that they're more like a refined, clear budget with clear line items. Let that be something that happens over time so that you don't burn out, because it is intimidating at first. I totally understand. But at some point, it is really important that you do get a budget down, because otherwise it's just going to be impossible for you to really know what's going on with your finances. I hope this video helps you feel a little less intimidated by your financial goals. Remember, small steps are sustainable. Big leaps burn you out. No matter what your financial goal is, I believe in you. I know that you can get it with dedication, and I'm so glad that I was able to be a part of that journey. That's it. Thank you so much for spending some of your precious time with me today. I'm Phoebe. This is Better with Phoebe. I hope you have a great day and an even better tomorrow. And if you got this far, you should probably subscribe, because I make videos like this every single week. I'll see you in the next one.